Okay, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a truly fascinating subject from the work of Ulrich E. Dupree. We are exploring the ancient Hawaiian forgiveness ritual known as Hooponopono. Now, I know what you might be thinking. You hear the word ritual and immediately picture something purely mystical or out of reach. But as we're going to see, this is actually a highly practical, incredibly actionable tool for profound personal transformation. It's built on this beautiful foundational understanding that we live in a universe of total abundance and perfection, and it gives us the exact method we need to stop blocking those gifts from flowing into our own lives. So, I want you to think about this question. Who would actually want to live their life carrying around a massive, heavy backpack stuffed full of problems, old conflicts, and fears? It's a brilliant metaphor directly from the source material, because whether we realize it or not, we all carry this invisible backpack. Every single grudge, every time we play the victim, every unresolved conflict we cling to, it all goes right into that pack. And carrying that kind of weight, it's literally exhausting. It creates massive internal blockages. The core promise of Hooponopono is that if we want to receive the abundance the universe is trying to give us, we first have to take off that backpack and let go of the things that simply don't matter anymore. And this idea perfectly illustrates the very real cost of carrying all that weight around. As the source explicitly notes, sicknesses are seen as symptoms of inner conflict. When we hold on to that heavy backpack of grudges and victimhood, we're creating this deep disharmony of separation. And this isn't just a metaphor or some mental burden. The energetic tensions we hold on to can actually manifest physically in our bodies. The shamanistic approach of Hooponopono teaches that when the soul is healed and those internal tensions are finally released, the physical body naturally follows suit. So how do we actually take off the backpack? Well, it starts with a fundamental shift in how we view the world.
Section 1. The pivot, moving from reaction to total responsibility.
There is a stark black and white contrast between living in reaction versus living in action. When we live in reaction, we're basically existing in victimhood. We're totally focused on the external, feeling completely out of control because, let's face it, we simply cannot control what other people do. But Hooponopono demands a massive pivot to action. This means stepping up and taking 100% radical responsibility for absolutely everything that happens in your life. Now, you might not be able to control external events, but you always have complete power over your response. You use this practice to clear your own internal blockages and become truly proactive.
Which brings us to this profound realization. Among the Huna, which is the Hawaiian esoteric tradition, there's a saying that translates to, "The world is what we think it is." The source also points out that from a Buddhist perspective, every single situation is essentially empty until we give it meaning. Think about that for a second. Our world is entirely subjective. We are actively creating our future based strictly on the thoughts we think and the words we use. Let's look at a really practical example of this from the text. The author shares this great story about taking a basic course on the Silva method. He told the instructor he wanted to learn how to get more clients. Well, the instructor stopped him right there and pointed out his language. The word get sounds desperate, right? It inherently comes from a place of lacking something. The instructor advised him to change his vocabulary from get to attract. Just by shifting that one single word, the entire vibration of the thought changes. It completely proves that our results are directly tied to the words we choose and the thoughts we allow ourselves to entertain. So now that we've established this mindset of total responsibility, let's look at how we actually do this. Section 2. The mechanism. The 4 steps of Hooponopono.
The really crucial point here is that this isn't just some vague, feel-good philosophy. It is a highly structured method for the purification of the soul, the mind, and our memories. Here is the 4-step process cleanly laid out. Step 1. We actively ask to reach a place of recognition, courage, and peace, joining with the original source. Step 2. We contemplate the problem in front of us and honestly search our own heart for our 100% share in it. Maybe it's a harsh judgment we made or an old memory needing healing. Step 3 is all about unconditional forgiveness using 4 very specific sentences. And step 4 is giving thanks, expressing deep trust, and completely letting go.
Let's really zero in on step 3, because this is the core engine of the entire ritual. The source actually calls these the 4 magic sentences. I am sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. This is the meditative prayer that actively allows you to drop the victimhood and start clearing those blockages.
Let's break these down, starting with the first sentence, I am sorry. This forces us to stop suppressing the issue, which is huge. By apologizing, you're recognizing there actually is a problem, and you're choosing to see it as a learning opportunity rather than some kind of universal punishment. You connect to a higher source, take full accountability that you've caused harm in some way, and begin to release the crippling weight of all that guilt.
Next, we move to please forgive me. And what's really fascinating here is the sheer scope of this forgiveness. According to the traditional Hooponopono practice, which in Hawaii is often used as a sort of family conference to resolve disputes, you aren't just seeking forgiveness for your own immediate actions. You are seeking forgiveness for yourself and your ancestors who may have caused harm, whether they did it consciously or entirely unconsciously. You are literally clearing a deep energetic lineage.
Then comes a massive shift in vibration with the third sentence, I love you. The source explains that absolutely everything vibrates. The universe is essentially like a giant symphony. Sincere sympathy and loving kindness actively raise your personal vibration. So, by declaring love, you are accepting yourself and the people you've harmed for exactly who they are. You are making the conscious choice to look right past the conflict and see the divine in that other person.
And finally, thank you. This is where the real release happens. You give thanks to God, the original source, the universe, whatever you connect with, trusting completely that the miracle of transformation is already on its way to you. This profound sense of gratitude is what frees you energetically from the chains of the past, so that the gifts of the universe can finally, actually flow into your life.
Section 3. The proof. Healing from the inside out.
Now, you might be wondering, does just changing my mindset and saying these 4 sentences internally actually do anything out in the real world? Well, the source highlights an absolutely incredible psychiatric case study to prove the power of Hooponopono. It centers on Dr. Aihelakala Ho Len. He took a job at the psychiatric department of the state prison of Kaneohe in Hawaii. And get this, Dr. Hu Len never actually worked directly on the prisoners. No traditional therapy sessions, nothing. Instead, he just sat in his office, looked at their files, and worked entirely on cleansing his own heart and his own consciousness using Hooponopono.
18. It took just 18 months of Dr. Hu Len doing this. 18 months of taking 100% responsibility for the fact that these prisoners existed in his reality and relentlessly cleansing his own inner blocks. And in that time, the entire mood and reality of that psychiatric prison ward fundamentally and completely changed. By healing himself, the environment around him healed.
And this brilliantly illustrates a core concept of Hooponopono, the law of cause and effect. Yes, we are where we are because of our choices, but more importantly, our consciousness is just one part of a much bigger consciousness called the world soul. Everything is deeply intrinsically connected because the universe is a vibrating symphony. When you change your own vibration, when you finally cleanse your own inner blocks, you literally change the world around you. You experience exactly what you send out. Which leads us to the ultimate goal of putting down that heavy backpack for good.
Section 4. The destination. From separation to unity. We basically have 2 completely different life paths in front of us, based entirely on how we handle our problems. The source strongly warns us not to make the mistake of falling in love with our problems. When we hold on to our judgments and our rigid appreciations of how things should be, it leads directly to separation. And separation leads right to disharmony, isolation, fear, arrogance, and, as we saw earlier, actual sickness. But look at the alternative. Radical acceptance and forgiveness lead us right back to unity. Harmony and agreement lead directly to joy, happiness, inner riches, vibrant health, and, if you wish for it, outer riches naturally follow.
To actively use Hooponopono in your own daily life and navigate toward that unity, the source provides 4 vital questions. Ask yourself these whenever you face any kind of challenge. 1. Who has the problem? 2. Who is the problem? 3. Who has the power? And 4. Who has the responsibility? Spoiler alert, the answer to all of them is you. You use the 4 magic sentences for each question, asking yourself how you can be part of the solution rather than obsessively focusing on the problem itself.
Knowing that your thoughts literally create your reality, and knowing that holding on to all those old grievances only blocks the abundance the universe is waiting to give you, what's it going to be? Will you choose to keep lugging around that heavy backpack, or will you take 100% responsibility today to attract true unity and abundance into your life? The choice and the power is entirely yours. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I highly encourage you to try the 4 magic sentences for yourself today.